Today I'll be posting about all things ring push-ups. I'm using the double circle fitness rings, which I will show you how I hang them at the end of the video. I'll also teach you how to scale these progressions and make them easier when you're learning. We'll be going over push-ups, archers, flies, and advanced combinations such as this one you see here between a fly and an archer. So we're going to be starting with push-ups. So if you watch, I get on the tips of my toes or the laces of my sneakers. Then I turn my hands all the way out, and my hands are going to be rotating as I go through this movement pattern. Another very important thing to notice is I am never winging my shoulder blades, my scapula. If you're into personal training and stuff, I am never ever pinching my shoulder blades together. I always want them protracted all the way and pushed all the way forward. I basically want to be trying to squeeze my chest together. So if you look from the side now, you can really see how important it is for me to be up on the tips of my toes or the laces of the sneakers. What that does is it forces me to keep a very tight body line. This is extremely painful in the beginning, so I don't blame you if you wear sneakers. I do it in my socks just so I have to try much harder. Another thing to notice is I was keeping my elbows very tight. Now this is the ring turned out push-up variation. This is very difficult, and this is very important if you plan on moving into things like advanced variations of back levers, or behind the back pull-ups, or pelican push-ups, which I didn't include in this because it's a very different movement pattern. It's not quite a push-up; it's more of a lever pull. So here's the side view of this. It's very important to note on the rings turned out push-ups. Again, I keep my hands turned all the way out the entire time, so palms facing forward. And yes, if you notice, the rings go much closer to my hips here. Ideally, as you go towards archers, pelican push-ups, you really have to bring those rings all the way to your hips, but that's another post for a later day. So now, once you master the basics, we're going to move on to typewriter push-ups, because unilateral is my bread and butter. Again, I'm on my toes, and this time, if you see, I look at the arm as it extends. I'll go over this again on this next rep. So I bring myself down, I look at the arm that extends, and that forces me to lean into the rings, providing me a bit of stability. And then very important, again, you notice I'm turning my palms towards the camera as I come up. So my palms are always going forward during the movement pattern itself. And why this is so important is that this is going to help build up the tricep strength that you need for more advanced variations and fluid movement. It's very important that you don't just press to the top and then turn your hands out. It's really, really important to press out as you're moving. So this is an archer negative. I like to open my hands up on archers. I find it pretty, and I just find it's a lot easier for me on the false grip. I just really like it. I like how it looks, and I like how it feels. All I'm doing here is I'm doing an archer negative. I'm keeping myself locked out. I'm not winging my scapula. Again, I look at the hand that stretches out, and I lean into the rings, and I just repeat the motion. So I'm doing that, and then I pull the ring in, and then I just do a regular basic push-up to get out of it. So that's a typewriter variation. So essentially you're combining an archer negative with a typewriter. This is a full archer push-up. So again, I can't stress this enough. I open my hand, I look at the hand that's going out. That causes me to lean into the rings for stability. And then again, I keep my elbow perfectly locked. I don't wing my scapula, and then watch, my hand turns out during the pressing phase. So important for tricep strength. Boom. So turn the hand out as I'm pressing. It's very, very important. Now these are fly negatives. So I'm going to do a ring fly, and then I pull the hands in and do a regular push-up. As usual, I'm on the tips of my toes or the laces of the sneakers if you're wearing sneakers. These are very difficult. Also, something to mention, from here out, I'm just going to be doing 2 reps, and then I'm just going to be repeating it. I thought I could talk over this, but realistically, I just need more time to talk. Now, look at this. I'm not winging my scapula. My shoulder blades are not sticking out on any of these. When you're doing flies for your own safety, it's really, really important to never let your shoulder blades stick up in the air and wing. So this, again, the first rep I did without a false grip, then I switch into the false grips. These are insanely difficult. Make sure you keep your elbows locked, arms locked out, and do not allow your shoulder blades to stick up in the air. Ring flies are very, very difficult. Here I'm just going with the false grip the whole time, again, just to show you some more. This is exactly how I do them, and this is also the order in which I learned all these things. I find these to be a little more difficult. So in and out flies, these are very, very rough to go from the push-up out to the full fly slowly and then back. These murdered me. Again, it's really just the same thing. You want to get out. Again, I always say me. What I'm looking for in this movement pattern is I'm trying to get out to locked out elbows and then smoothly come back in. Obviously, that's not that smooth. These are insanely difficult. What's cool about all these push-up things too is these could really be done as a challenge as well. You know, in the comments, let me know how far you can get through these movement patterns. This should last you for years. If you're new to push-ups and you want to start learning ring push-ups, these will last years. This takes a long time to get good at. These are very difficult. So what I'm doing here now is I'm combining an archer with a fly. So I'm going down into the full archer push-up, going out into the full fly, back up and finishing with the archer. Again, I mean, it's really just the same things are what I'm looking for here. I'm not letting my shoulder blades stick up in the air. I'm not winging my scapula. My shoulders are fully protracted. I'm basically just try to make cleavage. The best way to understand this is try to make cleavage. I'm maintaining a hollow body hold throughout. So I have my upper back is a bit rounded, and then I'm trying to create a straight line through my lower spine into my toes. These are difficult. I don't know what else to say. Just, you know, look for locked out elbows. I'm trying to always keep my elbows locked out when I go wide, and never ever pinching my shoulder blades together. I'm always very strong and protracted, pushing my chest forward, trying to create cleavage. Now, this is how you work your way up to any of these movements. You can learn the basic push-up like this, or you can even learn the advanced movements like this once you get the basic push-up. I'm on my knees with the laces on the ground and trying to round my upper back and keep a straight line through the body. I'm just on my knees doing a proper hollow body. This is how I would recommend that you learn these things. I mean, this is what I use for people when I teach it to them. Do it on the knees. Don't necessarily do the standing version, and then you can progress to what I'm doing here. So here I'm doing a full negative, putting my knees on the ground to then get back up to the starting point. You can do these on archers, on flies, anything. By putting your knees on the ground, you're just shortening the length of your body and making this much easier for yourself. Now, this is how I hang the rings. As I said, I use double circle fitness rings. I'll have a link in the post description. They're amazing. I've used them for years. You know, I found them long before they sponsored me. This is still the first pair of rings I bought 2 years ago. I love them so much that I gave away the other pair. So now watch. This is important. So I loop it at the bottom around the 1 because it's got a little extra length, and now I match up the numbers. So I throw the number 10 side over the bar. I match up the 7s. It's just a good height there, and look, the rings are